Welcome to the Regency Petroleum Limited earnings call for the financial year ended December 31st, 2023. Regency had a great year once again, and the team is here to discuss their performance. I am Renee McDonald, Investor Relations Lead at Learn Grow Invest Limited. And with me today, I have Andrew Williams, the CEO of RPL, who will be walking us through the company performance for 2023.
Thank
Welcome,
you,
Andrew.
Renee. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Over
Okay,
to you.
so welcome to another earnings call for Regency Petroleum. We'll be discussing today our 2023 audited financials and our performance for last year. Let's start out by having a word of prayer. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you once more to another earnings call. We thank you for life. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for Regency Petroleum. We thank you for its shareholders, its investors, and we thank you for our Jamaican people and our general public and audience today, oh Father. We ask that you continue to bless this company, continue to bless others, continue to do your good will in this company, oh Father. And as we go through and enter a new year, we ask for your continued blessings upon the company and upon each and every one of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Right. So welcome once more to our earnings call, and we thank Learn, Grow, and Invest for giving us this opportunity where we can share with our shareholders and the general audience on our company's performance over the last year. And moving straight into our highlights for 2023, we have a 36% increase in our revenue. We have a significant increase, I would say, in our revenue over the past year. We also had increases of 68% in our plant, property, and equipment. So our asset base has grown also. We also had our opening of our service station in Paradise, which was well anticipated, and we had a few delays. However, we're going to that further, but we had our opening in 2023, which is a significant accomplishment also with our, based on what we have targeted, and also with regards to our LPG. So the opening of the gas station would be in relation to our automotive fuel and our LPG division. We also had a major or significant accomplishment by entering into a franchise agreement with our company, Just Gas Limited, to help to boost our LPG bulk sales and also to engage a Jamaican company in the business and encourage them and assist them in whatever way we can for the growth and development of both companies and essentially benefit to our consumers and our shareholders also. So we had our opening of that service station. With regards to our corporate responsibilities, we didn't have any significant, I would say, donations or anything significant in the last quarter. However, in the general, over the entire period, we had donated because it's a part of our culture, Regency Petroleum, for us to contribute towards our community, our country in general, you know. So we donated to the Panam Aquatics for the rural region. We had a donation towards that. We donated to schools that Pell Rivers in Hanover. So we have a number of schools and churches that we generally I would say we have obligations to, and we try to live up to these obligations. So we continue with that, and we continue with that in the fourth quarter. We'll continue doing so as long as the existence of Regency. So moving on now to our financial highlights, our CFO, Mr. Jerry Grant, will indulge and will expound on that. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon to our listeners, and I must say I need to thank the Lord for taking us through one full year of operation since being listed. The result for our first full year after being listed is, I would say, a mixed result. We have managed to grow our revenue by 36% over the previous year, and I think that is a tremendous achievement. However, our operating profit show a reduction of 42%, and this is due mainly to some huge costs that we have to bear in being a public company, and also it comes with a growing operation. Some of these costs would have included a huge increase in our staff costs. As you know, we are rolling out our various gas station and additional staffing. We have also a significant increase in our advertising and promotion. Our legal and professional fees have shown significant increase also. And also our security costs, which before it was minimal, basically showing tremendous increase due to security that we have to put in place. Our profit before tax resulted in a 37% reduction over the 2022 period. And that is after taking into consideration, like our finance costs. The net profit for the period show a reduction of 18%, which given all that is happening and all that happened through our 2023 is not a bad achievement. Earnings per share reduced by 35% due to the reduction in the profit for the period. Okay, our LPG in 2022 was 18% of our overall business. So 18% of the total sales would have reflected would have come from the LPG segment. We have managed to increase that by 6%. So now our LPG segment is bringing in 24% of our total revenue. We will continue to grow that aspect of the business, as Mr. Williams will, expound on. Our cash reserve is still pretty good, it's pretty strong. As of 2023, it's 67 million, slightly down from the previous year, which was showing a 94 million, but still pretty good, for a company that is spending a lot. Still a good cash reserve. We have invested a lot in our property, plant, and equipment, and it is shown here a 68% increase over 2022. So it's now 435 million in our property, plant, and equipment. Accounts receivable also a whopping 178% increase. That, however, we need, at least I need to expound on that. It's not, trade receivables is pretty much insignificant. It's not a lot in this figure. Most of these receivables are in relation to one of the gas stations that we are constructing. Those costs will be reimbursed. Will be reimbursed to RPL, which we have an agreement. It's gonna be set up against future lease. Our long-term liability is showing 15 million, and that is from the proceeds of the bonds, as was announced in previous earnings call. Our payables 146% increase, and I must say that we are within our payment terms with all our suppliers. We have gotten increased days in which to pay based on our past performance, and also due to our additional gas stations that are open. We have increased in our output from our supplies from these from our suppliers. Next slide, please. Okay. Cash flow from operation in 2022, it was 71 million. We have increased that to 75 million in 2023. Cash flow from investing, we have invested in this gas station. 196 million was invested in 2022. It's now 225 million being invested in 2023. Cash flow from financing, 215 million in 2023. That was from the bond in 2022. That was from another source, loan from another source. Okay, our share capital, as we know, those were from the IPO, 260 million. And our retained earnings increase, 36 million at the end of 2023. That is due to the additional profit that we made during 2023. I will now turn over to our CEO.
Okay, Jerry, thank you for that insight on the financials. Now, with regards to our company's outlook for 2024, remainder of 2024, and the year to come, it is our objective for us to have these service stations completed. Now, we had some delays, and we have opened Paradise August of last year. We opened Negril mid-January this year, and we have the Kingston location slated to be opened second quarter of this year. I know we had stated that we should have it in the first quarter, but again, we had a few delays. I want to be specific on this. We had two major delays causing the Kingston service station not to be open in the first quarter, and those were the significant rainfall that we had experienced in Kingston. Two times, this had basically obstructed some of the major infrastructure works that were put in place, specifically the installation of these tanks underground. So we had excessive rainfall that disturbed our infrastructure setting. We had to redo that and get stuff retested and recertified. And after doing so, there was a second episode of a similar nature, which caused similar disruptions. And this fortunately for us, we overcome this in a period of about, say, 4 or 5 weeks, which on the onset it appeared as if it would be longer, as much as probably it's going to take like about probably a full quarter, 2 or 3 months to get back on par, So fortunately, we worked assiduously and expeditiously on trying to have these repairs remedied, these problems that we had remedied, and we are back on track now, and I can safely say that we would have these service stations opened in the second quarter of this year, this service station. So our outlook for 2024 currently is to focus on having this service station open for one. Then we'll be having these 4 service stations in full operation for 2 quarters, where we can actually experience actual revenues and profits now from these service stations. Over the past year, or even 2 years, we have been projecting profits and revenues from these stations, or even not even from these 3, but from 2 or 1. And in 1 year, we have accomplished so much thanks to being on the JSC. We have accomplished so much in that 1 year, where we have opened Paradise all over the lane, we opened Negril, and now we would open Kingston. So when we have these 3 service stations in operations, we will experience actual revenues and profits. I would say comfortably 2 quarters after opening the Kingston, the 4th one. we would experience 2 quarters, see our revenue surplus and see where we stand. And we want to show our shareholders also, we want them to experience these profits and revenues, what we've been speaking about. So we want to see actual, so we can say this is the actual revenue and profits that we are making from the company now. And then we know how we can move on in terms of financing any future project. So so what I can say is that we don't expect any significant expenditure to take place in the next 2 quarters post opening of the service station in Kingston. However, it's very important to note that currently we are a growing company and we are seeking opportunities to grow and expand, especially in the automotive fuel sector. So we are currently seeking locations for future service stations. And as I always say, the construction of a service station is in 2 parts. The first part, which is seeking approvals, which is time consuming, and so we are currently in the process of seeking property. So we are still under expansion mode on that aspect. It's just that we will not see any major expenditure with regard to construction of new service stations as yet. But we are currently seeking properties, across the island because we want to expand the company across the island. We are a Jamaican-owned company, as I always say, and we want to be a household name when it comes down to petroleum products. So we are seeking to expand on the automotive fuel via service stations across the island. With regards to the LPG, we are growing it organically. It is a highly capital intensive division of the business, and we have to be careful how we approach it, and we have our strategies in place. We have many strategies in place to grow the LPG, both bulk and retail. We have strategies in place to maintain our market share and to grow the market share. So this is something that I can't go into much details on, but it has proven itself to us. We have proven the strategies that we have employed to sustain our market share and to grow our market share marginally and organically. So we will continue as we did over the past year to invest in our LPG division, household wise, which is highly capital intensive, and also bulk with regards to our bulk sales, which we had our franchise agreement with Just Gas middle of last year. So this has helped, as you can see in the financials, helped to boost our LPG sales, primarily in our bulk on the bulk side. So, but when I speak about bulk, I just remind you that I'm talking about bulk sales to hotels, restaurants, bakeries, any bulk user of petroleum. So we have the infrastructure in place for that. So we try to optimize that and be most efficient with that. And we aim to be a first world country. So in saying so, we invest a lot in customer service, and so we try to be number one, or we try to be of a first world nature when it comes down to customer service. It is very critical for our customers to be fully satisfied, are overly satisfied with the service that they get, especially from their own domestic, their own local company, their own Jamaican company. And also in saying that we assist Just Gas and give them the opportunity, because they have invested heavily in their business. And as a Jamaican company, we try to assist and offer the opportunity to Just Gas and any other Jamaican company who have the passion for the business and who want to grow their business. And any way Regency can assist. If you're legitimately want to have a legitimate business and want to grow your business and want to be awarded any opportunity that we are able to award, we will be open and willing to have any form of discussion with any company, Jamaica, especially the Jamaican companies, because we want to see our local companies grow. We want to see them grow and expand and become multinationals also. Because it's a globalized economy we are in. We're in a globalized economy, and we have to be able to equip ourselves in whatever way we can, and we're able to support our associates or our associated companies, in whatever way we assist, so we can all grow. Because when we grow as a Jamaican company, I don't want to deviate too much, but when we grow as a Jamaican company, everybody benefits. The consumers benefit, the Jamaican people benefit, and the Jamaican companies benefit, and the economy benefits, and it also transit. Socially, we benefit also because I can go into. We will continue since we're mentioned socially. We will continue our social responsibilities that we have. We are in a growing year. We have been spending significantly on donations and construction costs, so as we can see over the past year. But what I can say is this: we have put all the necessary infrastructure in terms of internal infrastructure in place with regards to administration. If you look on our financials, you will see our administrative costs have increased, but we have put that infrastructure in place currently to satisfy what we have coming on stream, which is the 4 service stations or the operation of the 4 service stations, so we can adequately and optimally monitor and manage these service stations and be fully efficient. So we have that is part of the reason why our administrative costs has gone up so significantly, because we have set this in place by our planning. We don't want to just jump into operating 4 service stations and we don't have the necessary infrastructure in place. So that's the infrastructure I mean, administrative wise, because it's very critical to have a proper management team, especially when you're operating in this startup industry, in the petroleum industry. So I will say that we will continue to be guided by the Almighty Father, because He is the one who is leading us. Regency, as the CEO of Regency Petroleum, I can tell you that we look to Him and we always look to Him for His guidance, and He has carried us through our first year post listing on the stock market, and in my estimation, I'm eternally grateful, and I think Regency shareholders, should be. We are eternally grateful to the Lord for what He has done for us over the past year. We have listed in 1 year, and in 1 year we have on our table 3 service stations being opened. When we had entered this the listing of the company, we in 2022 December, we only slated the opening of 1 service station owned by Regency and another one to be leased. Now we have a third one which came on board, and we are looking to even complete this third one within less than a year, because Kingston service station was actually we commenced our construction in June, July of last year. So if we can have this open, which we everything is on schedule for it to open in the second quarter, we'll actually complete construction in less than 1 year. I just want to make note of that. And so let me get back to the actual outlook. For 2024, we just want to have these, just recapping, we want to have these service stations open. We want to see the profits and revenues from them, actual profits and revenues from them. And we in the background now, we are currently seeking opportunities for where we can open other service stations across the island. We're growing LPG organically, and if something comes in our lap, yes, we as Kingston, and opportunity arises, we will definitely not hesitate on it as long as it's feasible for the growth and development of the company, and it will increase our profits and our revenues moving forward. Definitely, we will not hesitate and take action on those that might come across our table. So that is it for 2024, and I'm looking forward for these 2 quarters. I'm eagerly anticipating, and I know our shareholders are too, eagerly anticipating the opening of these service stations, and let us see what happens quarters to come, the next 2 quarters to come, or 3 quarters to come, where we can meet again and we can discuss our actual revenues and our actual profits based on what we are projected and based on what we actually investing, facilitating us and for giving us this opportunity where we can share with our shareholders what is happening in Regency. We are open for question and answers next. And any question, any answer that the shareholder, any public, anybody from the general public, anybody from the audience would like to ask, feel free to if you have any queries about Regency and what our plans are, what we have done. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for that, Andrew. I am sure that the shareholders appreciated hearing from you, their CEO, in such an extensive way.
Thanks for the
We
opportunity.
want to also, from the LGI team, say congratulations on a year well done. Congratulations on your increase in revenues, and of course, the service station that was open last year, the ones that are in the 2024 year as well. Congratulations on the partnership with
Thank
Just
you.
Gas and just the expansion of your LPG line. So there is much that you have accomplished, as you rightfully said, since you have listed on the exchange, and it is no small feat. So indeed, we celebrate with you that win. I do want to welcome Jerry back as well. We have a number of questions to get through. So, for the listening audience, we want to continue to encourage you, if you have any questions, to put them in the comment section and we will get to them. We're about to start now with this question from Devon. Will you still be proceeding with the APO to raise funds to offset debt and funding future projects?
Okay. All right. That is the reason why I had stated that we want to have these service stations open. So remind me of his name again. The
Devon.
person asking. Devon. So Devon, to answer your question, we 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 are not sure what avenue we will take in terms of expansion as yet. We want to have these service stations in operation so we can see our revenues and our profits and and how we will move on. We have targets and forecasts for our profits to experience, but we want to see the actual profits before we move on to any further expansion this way. As I said, we are not anticipating any construction or any major or significant expenditure with regards to expansion or construction in the next 2-3 quarters. We want to see these profits so we can know how we're going to structure financing any future projects. At the same time, if something I said come in our lap, something similar to Kingston, where we have to act on it immediately, then we will look at whatever options at that point in time, which we may have, you know. So that is it basically. We intend to have these service stations open so we can experience the great things to determine how we move on.
Okay, thank you. So I think this question is for Jerry based on the financial presentation. Question is from Jason. What are loyalty credits and why do you no longer earn them?
Well, loyalty credits are really Petroleum way of showing gratitude to their customer, basically. But that program was discontinued by Petroleum, which is our supplier. So it's just straight across the board. It's nothing related to RPL in particular. It was discontinued by the supplier.
And I can explain that a bit. The loyalty credit was an incentive program from Petrojam for customers who were solely Petrojams. Petrojam was solely their suppliers. So it was an incentive program. It was an annual thing where wasn't they were obligated to renew it. You know, so I think we are in discussions with them to see if they can renew the program. We haven't got any definite or definitive answers yet, but we're looking forward to it also if it comes on stream again.
Okay, understood. Thank you for that, gentlemen. Next question is from our community. What's the update on the Spanish Town Road station, and are you still on track to opening Q1? You would have addressed this, Andrew, and stated that due to the rainfall, etc., there were some delays, and now you're looking at Q2 for opening. So I think we can move to the next question. What percentage of your expenses are considered non-recurring? Jerry, I believe that one is for you, if you have that on hand.
Percent-wise, it's hard to say. I didn't do the calculation, but I would say most of the costs that we are seeing in 23 now is basically fixed going forward. So with increased revenue, most of those increased revenue, the profit will go down to the bottom line, because pretty much these costs would have been standard going forward. In fact, we have taken steps in some areas to reduce some of these, work on some of these where possible. But pretty much these costs we we'll have to learn to live with and try to increase revenue to pop up the bottom line.
And I'd just like to add something to that, if I'm allowed to. Right. So as I stated earlier in this interview, we had put the infrastructure in place to manage and operate these upcoming service stations. Now, what is very important to note, also, which I don't think I'd mentioned earlier, is that our revenue source over the past 3 years has been the same. Now, it only changed in August of last year. So what I'm getting at is that our source of revenue, which was the one service station that we had from 2018, 2019, 2021, 2020, 2021, that was the only source of revenue we had up until August of last year. Now, with these additional expenses, which are fixed, as the CFO has said, it's fixed expenses, but this is what we have put in place to manage the other 3 service stations. So we operated for the last, or for 3 quarters of last year on the one revenue source. We now have 3 revenue sources, looking forward to a 4th revenue source. The second revenue source was in August. The 3rd revenue source will start in January of this year. So I think moving to even the end of this quarter, we should see a change in even our revenue. Having these 2 or 3 stations now in operation, and then for the 4th or for the next quarter, which is why I keep maintaining that. Let us breathe a bit after the 2nd quarter for 2 more quarters to see those revenues. So yes, they are fixed, but we have to bear it in relation to our revenue source remain the same for 3 quarters of last year.
Thank you for that additional context. So Jason is also asking, on your cash flow statement, so Jerry, this is for you again, we saw receivables and deferred expenditure balloon to erode your cash from operations. Could you explain your receivables arrangements with the outstanding customer or customers?
Okay, let's put it in context. The enormous expenditure on the construction of the gas station on Spanish Town Road, those costs are really deferred to be recoverable from the landowner, right? So that contribute to our receivables being showing a significant increase. It's not trade receivable; those are recoverable costs, right? Which is good. So those costs are not gonna be borne by RPL in the long run. And as per agreement and contracts, they will be written off against lease going forward. Very long-term lease, I could say. So it's a good thing, very good things for the company to have an arrangement like that. And that's it.
Thank you for that, Jerry. I hope that's clear, Jason. The deferred expenditure regarding the Kingston location. So the next community question says, will we see any new gas stations in 2024?
Well, again, there are no plans for any new service stations for 2024. We're actually up at the 1st quarter already. So there's no immediate plans for any, because we'd have to have approvals in place to begin from our construction for 2024. However, we are seeking locations currently to seeking locations where we can seek approvals for these locations for service stations. But currently, for 2024, we just want to have these service stations open so we can see the performance. But nothing in the immediate. If something comes into our lap, if you have an existing service station, for argument's sake, that wants to be rebranded as a Regency, a privately owned service station, we welcome it. Any hour of the day, so we welcome any privately owned service stations who want to join the Regency team. If you are privately owned and you want to join the Regency team, we welcome any opportunity like that we can grow each other, and each company will benefit from that.
Absolutely, and that does feed right into your your statement earlier about growing other Jamaican businesses and the passion that you have there. So thank you for that. Jason does have a follow-up question for you, Jerry. He first says thanks for answering, but is now asking, is it that the landowner is responsible for both the receivables and the deferred expenses?
Yes, but it's similar arrangement, but we're talking, well, in this case, going to be two separate arrangement. We have the net grill operation where expenditure incurred by RPL, which will be recovered, and those will be set off, but we don't have what to call the arrangement is still being worked on. So the Spanish Town one is reclassified as receivables, while the other one is in deferred expenditure. But both of them will be set off against the lease.
Okay.
So whatever expenditure RPL incurred, it will be recoverable.
Okay, understood. So it's just it's the same context or same situation, just they're categorized differently at this point.
Yes.
Understood. Thank you. Our next question is from Sean Brown. Have you considered implemented automated car washes at every service station?
All right, this is something that we have considered from probably months before we even started our first Paradise location. Now, we did some due diligence on a number of services that we could offer at the service station. Automated car wash was one of them, along with others. And based on our findings from this investigation is that the infrastructure that it will require and the profitability from an automated car wash with what we have around. Well, I will say with what we have existing now. I don't know when we move to other locations, it will be different, but in our current location, it will not be feasible or profitable for us to put that investment of an automated car wash and whatever it requires and based on our targets and projections from revenues of that for it to be profitable. Because in our current location, there are many, the competition that we have there now and the space and that is the infrastructure for that and at our location, it wasn't feasible. Part of a Paradise for Negro, it's not feasible to have an automated car wash there. But not to say that we're dismissing that from all our services. No, as we move on, we'll see based on the location what we do due diligence for that area, for that particular location, and yes, we will implement whatever needs to be into that additional revenue source.
Okay, that is great. Great to know that the innovation, the thoughts of innovation are already in place and you're doing the work behind the scenes. And I think it's a great point to inject just how much work goes on behind the scenes before we see anything.
A lot of planning, a lot of planning and research.
Yes.
Well, basically, as R&D, research and development department that I basically head that, so before we do any jump ourselves or jump into anything significant.
Yes. So kudos to you and the team for that. So our next question is again from Jason. Is there any consideration to follow the refill and plaza model that allows you to sell fuel and earn rental income?
Is there any conversation? Oh, okay. As I said, when it will be based on our location and where we are located. So we would customize each location. There are certain things that would be standard for Regency service station, but we customize it to the location that we are, to the area that we are. So we have our research team that we would investigate based on that location. What is lacking? What could benefit the community? And what could benefit the company? Both for the company to earn additional revenues, additional profits, and to also provide a service for the community, which they are lacking. So it will again be customized to whichever location that we move to.
Great, thank you for that. That is good to know. So we're looking forward to seeing what customizations will be coming with the Spanish Town Road location, right?
Well, definitely.
All right. So on to the next question. Are you concerned about the growth in receivables?
Jerry, all right.
No, as I said before, yeah, receivables, it's not out of line with the growth in the business. It's we still have it under control in terms of review it regular, and we follow up on anything that it seems to be going, into doubtful debt or anything like that. We follow up. So it's not really a great concern. We're on top of it, I could say.
And let me just add that. Remember now we are a growing company, so what you find that based on the nature of the industry, it's petroleum. So it involves a lot of cash, a lot of funding, a lot of money is involved. So as we grow, we do a lot more sales. As you can see, the revenue has grown 36%. So as we grow, you will find that we do a lot more sales. The objective now is to keep these receivables current. So because as I said, a small amount of product is a lot of money. So if we are growing and we have other new customers and we manage it properly in terms of we want additional business, additional revenue, we can manage. So the onus is on us now to manage these receivables properly. So because we want to grow the business, so we don't want to turn down some additional business or additional customers that we know are competent, to the customers and we live up to their obligations in terms of payments. So if the onus is on the company, which is why I said again, we invest heavily in this administrative structure so we can analyze all of these customers, these sales, and these debtors that we have, every person that credit from us. So we want to manage it properly. If we can manage it properly and our revenues increase and we're managing our receivables, it will grow in figure wise, but it's overall our revenue will increase and we are collecting on time. So management is very critical when it comes down to that.
Right, and I think you hit two salient points there. The receivables, who you give credit to, is another major point of due diligence, and there's a lot that goes into that, and also the fact that it is kept current. So you're not looking at bad debt. You're simply looking at the cost of doing business there. So thank you for that. Next question: what is expenses as listed under your administrative expenses? And we also have another question: what are the other expenses made up of? So I think those two are related. Over to you, Jerry.
Well, I'm not sure the first question there, I didn't catch the name with expense. I'm not sure we have a category there as expense. We would have other expenses, and those are basically made up of quite a bit of small other expenditure, which almost all companies would have those. They just lump together, in terms of presentation, and also some of it is based on the fact that not everything you want to make public to your competitors also. So it is, but it's mainly a lot of other small expenditure combines together.
And just to add to that, I mean, this administrative expense, I can't tell you, based on what I've seen, is that being a listed company, we have obligations that we weren't even aware of until we were listed with the Jamaica stock, with the JCSD, with the stock exchange, that these are ongoing monthly expenses. And based on the number of shareholders that Regency have, it's actually a cost to us to maintain these shareholders list with the stock exchange. So we have those expenses, and it's based on the number of shareholders. Some of these expenses are based on the number of shareholders. So for a company like Regency was over 4,000 shareholders, as opposed to the company that has 1,000 or 2,000 shareholders, we are paying a higher cost, are paying a higher fee for that. So this is one of the stuff, and we have additional administrative costs. I mean, like just by being listed, which are fixed costs, and also our accounting has increased, and a number of other stuff have to put in place. So to monitor primarily, because we have invested heavily in these services and automation. So the automation is one thing, but to enforce and monitor is another thing. So we have to employ competent staffing for that also, and there's a number of stuff that we don't want to delve too much into to let out too much of our secrets or but whatever needs to be known, we make it known. That's it for that.
Okay, thank you. You don't want to give away the secret sauce, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Shante is saying that she really appreciates RPL's transparency and openness. And we have got that comment many times over, which we have shared with the team. So kudos on trying to grow and not just shareholder value, but also other Jamaican businesses. So that one wasn't a question, but a comment and a commendation
Thanks
for
for
the RPL team. And Jason is confirming that you were very clear in your explanation, Jerry. So he's good. He's good to go.
Even with this throat problem.
Yes, even with the throat problem. So we have a few more questions to go. Sean is asking, do you think we'll see a dividend payout this year?
Well, I knew that question was coming, and that is why I said that. We are all looking forward to that as the first thing. And when we see these 2 quarters grow, we will know, which is what I said, we will know how we move on financially. We know what we can pay for dividends, what we can put aside for growth, for expansion, what we can go to the market for APO or a bond issue to expand. So yes, it is always our intention when we reach to that point in time where we look forward to it, where we can pay out dividends. We are a growing company, and I mean, it's new to many of us. The opportunities that come across our table, and sometimes we didn't expect this because we are a listed company now. So you find that a number of opportunities will come across. We have to know, we have our R&D, we have to know and do our diligence as to what we can jump at and what we just set aside. So I can tell you now, I didn't mention about we have a number of opportunities that constantly comes across the table, and we have to look into it properly to see if it makes sense for us to jump at this. On the onset, it might look, yes, we're going to go at it right away, but when you look deeper into these opportunities, you realize that no, in the long term, it will be beneficial to the company. So if something comes across, yes, we will expand. But when it comes down to dividend right now, we want to see what we are earning and see how we can pay out something, or if an opportunity come on the table where say, boy, no, we have to jump at this immediately because this will allow us to grow significantly. Then we might have to set out a bit. So we are in a growth stage. It's just that things keep coming on. So we're not getting a chance to really breathe and say, operate. We don't have that 50-something gas stations that we want to have across the island yet. But we have had 3 in 1 year, so we're looking forward to big things to come. And as I said, if nothing comes on the table and we don't have any great opportunity and we're making significant profits and significant revenue and there's nothing to spend on the middle of our goal, yes, definitely we'll look at the dividend payout. Hope that answers the question.
I think you did, and I think the audience is quite clear on the position regarding dividends. So thank you very much for that, Andrew. So that was actually our final question, and I do want to just encourage our audience, our listening audience and your shareholders, that if there are any other questions, feel free to leave those questions in the comments, and we'll be sure to engage the RPL team to get the responses for you as soon as possible. We also want to give you, Andrew, an opportunity to make any closing remarks and to also inform your shareholders, or just remind your shareholders of how to get in contact with the RPL team in the event there are any questions that they have about the results.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you for the opportunity for having this once more, this earnings call. And most of all, I have to say a special thank you once more to the Lord God Almighty, for carrying Regency through its first year of listing, and for awarding us and blessing the company with all the opportunities I've seen over the last year. All that we have done and we have achieved over this last year, and from commencement of Regency to present, it's all on him. I mean, on the Lord. He has carried us so far, and we have all faith and confidence in him that he will continue to be with the company and help us grow whatever way he sees fit. So we actually we leave it up to him, and we're not just a matter of leave it up to him, why he take control of the company, but we allow him to use us to do what he wants us to do, so we can grow the company. And so far, so very good, and we are thankful to him for that, and we allow him to take full control. Now, for our shareholders and for the audience, again, we have had a successful year, and we have a bright future ahead, and we are a growing company. We're very minute, and we have achieved so much in 1 year. And thanks again to the opportunity of being listed on the stock exchange, where we are able to grow our company to where it is now, and we have such a bright future ahead to grow. And as a Jamaican company, we try to help our economy grow. We're not only just seeking profits and profits and profits alone. Yes, profits is very critical and very important. But when these profits are earned, or when we have access to these profits, we try to grow our Jamaican companies, other companies that we did with our franchise agreement with Just Gas. And we also try to continue to assist in our community. We are entering into Spanish Town Road now, which is quite a little bit controversial here, but it's still a Jamaican town, it's a Jamaican location, and we want to, more than ever, not only put a service station in Spanish Town Road, but we want also to grow that community. It is surrounded by some landmarks. We have huge companies in the surrounding area. I mean, this is Kingston. Years ago, this is what we know as Kingston before development has taken place, and we want to re-energize the area. We're going into that location to help to rebuild. So we want everybody to benefit. The Regency will benefit, and the community will benefit. We want to place our mark at that location, any other location that we are. So at all our locations, we want to help the company, help the community to grow and assist in any which way we can. And moving forward for 2022, as I stated many times, numerous amount of times, we are eagerly anticipating these service stations to be open. We want to see the profits, we want to see the revenues, and then we can move on. We are looking for other service stations. We're looking to expand the LPG. I know I didn't spend much time, but I can say no, for the LPG, it has how to say it, we don't have a hand to sell the LPG for us. We're getting calls across the island, across almost daily when we're going to enter your community for the household cylinders. It is highly capital intensive, and we have to approach it strategically. We have to know, because as I said, it's a lot of funding to expand on the household LPG. We're growing it organically, but over time, for sure, we are a young company, but over time to come, medium to long term, 100% certain that we'll cover the entire island when it comes down to LPG, and we will maintain that household name as a Jamaican-owned company when they talk about petroleum products, cooking gas, and automotive fuel. The LPG will take a little longer time, but it's growing organically. And what is important to note is that we maintain our market share over the past couple of years. We have maintained our market share. We have grown it. We have grown it on the bulk side. We have grown it marginally as we can with the household cylinders. So we are holding quite firm with that. And I mean, it's a pleasure when we get calls almost daily. Customers are inquiring when we're going to come to your location. So obviously we have a reputation out there that we hold on to, and we are trying to establish ourselves across the island as gradually as we go and as we expand for the LPG. LPG I'm quite passionate about, because that's where we actually started out. You know, so you're not probably seeing much on it now, but it's definitely growing in the background. Our market share is sustained and growing marginally. So overall, for the company Regency Petroleum, we have an excellent year, and we have a bright future ahead. And you follow us, follow our expansions, and follow what we are doing. You can follow us on Instagram. We on Instagram, and also we are reachable if any questions about this earnings call, or even in general about the company. Our office number is 876-724-8128. I must say, however, that for the past 2 to 3 weeks, we have had a phone line issue in the general area where head office is located. So our provider, which is Flow, has been down for about a few weeks. But I can also give you a cell number or an email, first of all, info@rplgas.com. We have somebody that monitors that. And also our cell number 876-803-3697. So we have our operations person who is reachable at that number. So I'm putting it out there. I mean, we want to be reachable. We don't want to end this call and you can't get to hear from anybody again. So you can send us a quick email or reach out at the number I stated earlier. And we have somebody that said monitoring that info@rplgas.com. So you'll get a response within 24 hours or less on that. So thanks again for our shareholders and for the audience who took the time out to listen to us. And Regency has a bright future. And as I always say, we are led by the Almighty Father. So I don't see where there's anything but success for the future. All right. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I want to thank you once again for allowing us to host this earnings call on our platform. Thank you to Jerry as well, CFO, for making himself available. Thank you to the RPL team for remaining transparent and open to having these conversations, these open conversations with your shareholders. It makes a difference in the market. It makes a difference in the investor confidence. It makes a difference in the wider community. So it's not just your shareholders, but you are making an impact on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, period. So thank you very much for your continued availability, your continued commitment to transparency and communication with your shareholders. So with that, I would like to thank our listeners for being here. Thank you for the engagement and the questions. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more earnings calls and more content of this nature. And also we encourage you to follow the Learn, Grow, Invest social media pages to get more information and accessibility to more companies that are in fact listed. And to the companies, if there are indeed any companies, CEOs watching, and you have an interest with engaging with your shareholders, we invite you to make contact with us as well. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.